Top of the morning to you folks. It's about 10 after 6. I'm just getting up. Went and grabbed my food canister. Grab a couple things for breakfast out of there. Show you guys this morning view. Absolutely. Just phenomenal. Last night was really good. I don't know if it'll... Oh, it looks like it's showing up in there. Still got the moon out. Luckily where my tent was, underneath a pine tree over there, and then up against the rocks, it didn't bother me too much. But what did was back over that direction. I think that's Martlet Peak or Martis Peak, one of the two. It sounded like there was a rave party going on over there till like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was sitting in the parking lot being a lot kid or something. It was loud. The bass was going crazy. I slept pretty good for probably about 3 hours, then woke up, and I got back to sleep about 2:33 this morning. But luckily, no critters, no interruptions. Bear can wasn't interrupted at all. Yeah, I'm gonna finish tearing down camp and get moving before the sun gets up too much and gets too hot. So we'll catch in with you guys after a bit. I'll probably make them a little shorter the following days here, unless there's some really cool stuff going on, just to save some battery. And yeah, I'll do some good mornings and some lunchtime briefings, and then some evening time where we're pitching. But yeah, I'm gonna get moving. All right, y'all, catch up with you after a bit.
This could be good for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose, but when you talk to me, give me the impression that I won't scratch your surface. And I could walk for days searching for your praise, but is it even there to find? Is there a chance for me to learn your memories? Will I slowly lose my mind? 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 Will I slowly lose my mind?
All right, folks. Well, been at it about 3 hours. I stopped a little ways back, about 0.3 back, and had the rest of my breakfast, my smoothie. Tasted awesome. A little water. And got up here, top of the ridge, 0.1 here behind me. We'll be leaving California and crossing into Nevada. But I wanted to stop here because it's a fantastic view. Looking back this way, behind us down in there is Martis Valley. There's Martis Peak. And then you get down. Back there is the ski runs at Palisades. And then in the middle of the screen down in there, you can kind of see a little bald spot. Back in behind that is where we were last night and took off from this morning, looking down onto Lake Tahoe. We've done about, I think, 7 miles so far today. We'll be cruising on up that way, up the trail. Like I said, that's point 1 will be in Nevada. And I think another 2 miles or something, or just under 2 miles. There's a reliable spring that I had checked with those folks earlier from Florida, and it's running, so I'll get water there rather than going off trail and downhill to Gray Lake and then having to climb a mile out of there. We're just going to stay on the red line, no detours, staying on the Tahoe Rim. All right, folks, I'm going to get cruising along, and I'll probably catch these folks that just came up past me before I started shooting this video. They're out of Reno. They're just up for a day hike, but yeah, so far so good. Legs are sore, but we're still moving. That's just part of the game. All right, cruise on. Nice views. The views are really incredible. Super exposed right here though. I just tapped into my last liter of water, but I believe that spring is coming up here quick. I'll have to check my map again. Tune in with you once we get there and take a break and camel up and eat some lunch. Alright folks, well, we made it out here to the cold spring, getting some water, much needed, and it's nice and cold. Another beautiful, beautiful view of the lake. And here's the spring that we're dipping water out of there. And ran into my leapfrogging buddy Ryan here. We've been leapfrogging each other. We started the same day and everything, so yeah, it's been a lot of uphill, but strangely not that bad. It's pretty fairly decent gradual incline rather than straight up. And now we're gonna throw down some food, get some calories packed in us, camel up some water, refill, probably go ahead and do a carry out of here, see where we end up. We're just gonna start walking.
3 hours later.
Oh, well, we made it, folks. We're on the top of Relay Peak, highest point
on the TRT, 10,292 feet. And one hell of a climb right out the gate. We shouldn't have said that the climb up until the spring was pretty mellow. It wasn't as bad as people made it sound to be. As soon as you turned up the hill from there, from getting water, game on. It felt like 4,000 feet of elevation gain. I don't know what it actually was. I'll have to check. It's probably more like 1,200 feet or something, and right in the middle of the heat of the day. Holy crap. A couple more miles, I think, over to the falls. I forget the name of the falls. I'll remember by the time I get there. But that's the next water source. And I've already almost gone through 2 of my 4 liters. So, yeah. That was a doozy, but we got her. I'll give you a quick little 360. These late afternoon clouds were a lifesaver towards the top. You can kind of see Lake Tahoe over there in the distance. That is where we came from. Switchback Hill. There's another lake back there in the distance. I'm not sure what that is. There's the cell towers. And that's where we're going to be heading, hopefully dropping down. And on the other side of those trees there is the relay station. And we're all the way back. Just heading off a relay peak. And there is the relay station.
$2,000 years later.
All right, folks, made it. Another push. I think it was 18 miles today we ended up doing. I just finished eating my organic superfood, some coconut and rice. Got the tent set up just in time. I had to rush because, as typical fashion, we had another evening shower. Tried to hill their pea-sized hill for a couple of minutes, so I was able to throw that up there real quick, get stuff shoved under the vestibules, and climb inside to stay dry. And the temperature dropped a bit, which is nice because last night was really warm, but we made it to Galena Falls. Which was the goal, so that I didn't have to dry camp again. And it's 2.5 miles to the Mount Rose trailhead and I think campground, Mount Rose campground out there tomorrow. And then just kind of cruise along, see how the day goes. Definitely a little sore today. Knees and stuff, not so much. Shoulders were getting a little tender on the uphills, and then the downhills, my left ankle, like the tendon right there, super tight. I'm gonna try to stretch that out a little bit, but yeah, it's 10 to 8 right now, so I'm gonna wrap this stuff up and get ready to get some shut eye. So that's gonna conclude it for day 2, y'all. Hope you enjoyed. Some of those views were amazing, and hitting Relay Peak, that was a goal. It's nice to have the first 2 days goals achieved, and we'll go from there. See if we continue or slow down a little bit and see what the trail decides to tell us what to do. All right, y'all. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.